Back in 2004, we, along with many other congregations around the country, participated in a church-wide program called 40 Days of Purpose, based on Rick Warren's book, The Purpose-Driven Life. Rick Warren challenged congregations across the country to set God-sized goals by adding a zero to whatever number they were planning on for participants. He called this idea exponential thinking, and it was new to me and to our church. For our size congregation, we initially planned on about 10 small groups with 100 people participating in the program. But after our leadership team heard the challenge to add a zero for the 40 Days of Purpose campaign, we set a goal of 100 small groups and 1,000 people involved in the groups. Everything changes when you think exponentially. Our planning completely changed as we ramped up to raise the resources needed in terms of people and in dollars, but we knew it would also multiply our impact. An amazing thing happened. Almost half of our member households stepped up to host a small group in their home. We invited everyone within a 5-mile radius of our church to participate and offered a free copy of the book to those who signed up. Now here's the thing. We didn't hit 100 small groups with 1,000 people taking the class. What did happen is that we had 70 small groups with 650 people taking the course with us. Over 65% of the people who participated were not even members of our church. Our attendance grew by 13% that year, and we added 30 new families following the campaign. Our original human plan had been only 10 groups and 100 participants. But when we moved to a God-sized goal, we got God-sized results. That experience taught me both the evangelistic power of small groups to draw new people to Christ and into His church, as well as the power of thinking exponentially.
And for the given size of our church, we initially thought 20 would be achievable small groups to attain, but we want to shoot high. So we said we're going to get 40 small group host leaders. And you know what happened? We end up with 30 small group hosts, and that was just fantastic.
We started off to say if we could get 100 people to participate in this, it would be a dynamic study for us in our church. We ended up with about 140 to 150 to complete the course. So it was well worth our time and really was something that the whole church was able to participate in one way or another.
Here is a key point. When you set a big goal, you need to do that with the consensus of your leadership and utilize the power of a team. It's one thing to set a goal, it's another to implement it. But with the right team and the right amount of time to plan, God will accomplish great things for His kingdom in and through you. We'll talk much more about building a team in the next video. But right now, I want to move to another key point. If you want to bring your entire congregation together in this church-wide campaign, you cannot do that effectively at the last minute. There's a saying, if you wait to the last minute, it only takes a minute. Well, that's true, but you won't get much done in that minute, and waiting to the last minute puts a lot of stress on you and others. It takes time to build a movement of the people of God. For our congregation, we try to get started 3 months in advance of the launch of a small group campaign. I realize that a smaller congregation may need less time and a larger congregation may require more time. The point is to give yourself and your people the gift of time.
We started about 4 months before we launched. It gave us the time as a leadership to make sure our ducks were in a row, that we knew the material would be available, that we could have time to teach the leaders and give them time to process so that they felt as comfortable as they could.
Lent often begins early in the year. So if you're planning to begin 3 to 4 months ahead of your launch with the planning, you need to start in October or November. This will give you the time you need to plan a small group campaign on the scale that we're talking about. You're going to want to build a leadership team. You'll want to make sure that you have thought through implications for budget. People need time to free up their schedules. 3 months out from launch, we will be building our leadership team. 2 months out, we'll be recruiting small group host homes, and 1 month out, we'll be recruiting the participants for the campaign. You can find out more details about what needs to be done at what point in the small group campaign manual. But the overall point that I want you to get from this video is set a God-sized goal and start early.